Well, there's mail. I'm kind of waiting on this. Uh, this has got a fuel pump in there that's been in there a long time. And what it's starting to do, if it sits for like a couple days, it lets the fuel drain back into the tank. So you start it up, runs good, and all of a sudden it starts running poorly, like it's running out of gas. Then it catches again, but that's always a nuisance. So I ordered in a fuel pump. It's really not the fuel pump that I want, but the one I want I'm going to have to kind of build. Uh, this is an Airtex 429, which I think is what is on there now. You know, they're a basic pump, but I really wasn't looking for a basic pump. I want to get back to the original one. When I got the car, it had the old type that has the sediment bowl on it. And they got a screen and a sediment bowl. Now these newer ones, at least you can take them apart. But there's no sediment bowl and no provision for attaching one. But I think I got the old one laying around, you know, someplace. I gotta find it. You know, real simple pump. Real common. This same pump is used in a lot of different old Chevys. And they're not all that expensive. But hopefully this one now is set up that it can handle the new fuels. You know, that's the problem with the old ones with the sediment bowl on them. The rubber couldn't take any alcohol at all. Well, I try not to run alcohol fuel anyway. But it can happen. Like I say, even a lot of times when you're filling out of a pump, that first half gallon, if you're switching from unleaded with ethanol to the unleaded without ethanol, you're still using the same hose. So you're going to get like a half gallon of that alcohol mix in there. So what I want to do is actually round up my old pump, and then you can buy the rebuild kit for the old ones that has the new components in it, so I can get my old pump to work with the new fuels. I like having a sediment bowl, though this has an inline sediment bowl with a filter, you know, a bronze screen filter in it. So it's not vital, but I just really like to have that glass sediment bowl on there. These are real easy to change. And this is pretty impressive in that they gave me 3 gaskets. I mean, usually you're lucky if you get 1 gasket. Yeah, that is impressive. But it's all right to have spares. And I do see I'm going to have to do a little bit of modifying. I got to take the screws out, turn it to the next screw hole. You know, it just doesn't quite line up with where my lines are, and these old cars use steel lines. So rather than bend the line, you know, it's easy to take these screws out, give it a little turn. And I ain't a bad idea to look this over anyway. You know, the inside, because they're real simple. I mean, it's just 2 popping valves and a diaphragm. And this does have that extra thing which normally would be where the sediment bowl attaches. But it just, yeah, they might have a screen in here. Not even a screen, but you can see the backside of the outlet popping valve. But even like this kind of rubber, but those valves, they can go bad. And these valves are not rebuildable, the ones that are in here. Whereas the old ones, you took a screw out, you could take the valve out and just replace the valve. So I'd sooner rebuild my old pump. I just got to find it. I think I got a couple of them kicking around someplace. But this was under $50, and the rebuilt kit for the old one is like $70. But to me, that extra $20 is worth it. So I'll have to get at this today. Just make it a little more reliable. I mean, it works fine going down the road. It's just that initial start after it's been sitting for a couple of days. It did prompt me. I put a new battery in because the other one, you know, if I had a crank for any length of time, the battery would go dead. So I put a new battery in. And I've got a new windshield for it. Just waiting on the gasket, which is fun. You know, it's a two-piece windshield, flat glass, not that expensive. The gasket for it actually cost me more than the windshield. But I got to put that in. Because this one's got 2 cracks in it too, rather severe cracks. So that's another project. But I'm glad to get this here. Because this is one of them things again now, with all this rioting going on. You know, before it was every time you ordered something, oh, it could take a little extra longer because of the coronavirus. Well, now it's the rioting. You know, and you see where sometimes there was one video where they broke into an Amazon truck. Well, there's going to be a lot of people waiting for stuff that they're not going to see, you know, because they run off with everything that was in that truck. So that's going to be hard to sort that out. But it's what you get when you elect Democrats. You get a real liberal government in there, that's what you get. It's funny, you know, I've been watching this stuff off and on. I have to say it wasn't unexpected. The sheer level of it was a little unexpected. But there's other factors at work in this thing. I mean, it's pretty freaky. It'll be interesting if they ever sort it out, but you know, even yesterday I heard something about all these, like the looters, they arrest them and then they kick them right loose again, and they aren't going to charge them. Well, they're going to do the same thing over and over again, you know, man. But that's a liberal government for you, and it's a bugger because these police departments are trying to keep things under control, but at the same time they're having to fight their own city governments all the time. It's just crazy. You know, a lot of times your chief of police is a liberal appointment. Really totally ineffectual, isn't really on the police side. The only one that's on the police side is the police union. Yeah, it's a funny thing. You know, because even like, say, in this rioting nonsense, I wasn't going to go into this, but where all of a sudden these pallet loads of bricks turn up. And then they find out later that the city had put the bricks out there. Well, they say, well, we were going to kind of maybe do something, but I guess if they're out there, I guess we better go and pick them up now. But they show when they put them out there, I mean, there's a video of them bringing them out there, and there's police cars sitting there guarding the unloading of these bricks. You know, what kind of a nonsense is that? You know, it's just amazing, really. I don't understand it, but there again, I do kind of understand it. I see what they're doing, but why in the world they're doing it, you know, that is a puzzler to me. You know, because it's just anarchy is all it is. But evidently that's what they want, because they figure that's the way they're going to get a president, a liberal president, by completely tearing the country apart. But there's going to be a point in here where either it's going to come to the point where normal people are going to have to put a stop to this, like if they bring in the army or even let the National Guard do their job. But all these liberal mayors and governors, they always, oh no, we can't bring in a National Guard. We'll handle it. No, they aren't handling it. Even like the mayor of Minneapolis, his daughter was out rioting and got arrested, and then they kicked her loose again. And I'm sure she's right back doing it, though. And then they ask him, well, how does he feel about this? Oh, he's proud of her. Well, you damn right. Your city burns. That's a lot of nonsense anyway. I got better things to do. But something that came in the mail yesterday was from the Arbor Day Foundation. And I'd given them like a $10 donation. And they sent me a couple of lilacs, which are already planted. And then these Norway spruce, there's 10 of them. So I got to plant them today. So I got my water tank on the back of the vehicle. And I don't put them in rows. I put one here and I put one there. And just places where they won't be in the way, for the mowing and stuff. But, these look like small trees. But this tree in the background here is one that I planted, which is about, I would say, 30 feet high, and it's well over a foot at the base. But that's one that I planted. They take off. Once they get down through the clay into the water-bearing sand, so I got to dig a fairly deep hole with a post hole digger. They'll go. I'd swear, people always get shook up every time you cut down a tree. Oh my God, the horror, the terror, and I tell you, I have probably planted more trees than I've cut down. And around here, really, the problem is trees taking over. I mean, if you don't keep them down, the trees just, the whole pastures will be nothing but woods, which makes for a poor pasture. But I'll wait till the sun gets a little bit around more, get a little more shade on the car, and put my fuel pump in. That'll be one project out of the way. But the windshield, as soon as that gasket get here, that's another project. Because like I said, the windshield in there is pretty bad shape. Well, and actually it was kind of my own fault. It was a stupid deal. It's got that sun visor on there. And one time, like 30 years ago, I brought it to a car wash. There was this, one of them automatic drive-through car washers. Well, I should have never done that. And I don't normally, and I have not washed it since. But there was this wheel contraption that kind of runs over your car as you go through with some kind of like foamy stuff on it. Well, it was just the right size to hook on that sun visor and give that windshield a little tug right in the middle, which cracked both sides. And when I went through, I said, is this going to work? To the guy running the operation, oh yeah, no problem. Well, there was a problem. I should have known better. I got to use my own judgment on these things. So I'm not big into washing vehicles after that.